Awakening is not. I'm Jason at AwakenedEssence.com. Awakening is a term that's bandied around, and there are some things that awakening simply isn't, and people think they are. And what these things are is they're distractions from what awakening is. So what is awakening? I've defined that in other pages, but it's the capacity for you right now to be aware of the stillness and the space and the nothingness that you are, as quickly as you can be aware of your hands. So feel your hands, feel your base, pelvic floor, the base of your being that sits underneath your emotions and your mind. So being aware of your backside and your hands. And if you can, feel inside your body, notice the space. The space allows everything. The emotions, the thoughts. The thoughts happen in a space, don't they? Take a look. Inquire, watch. Thoughts happen in a space, but you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which they happen in. So what you are is stillness, nothingness, everythingness, aliveness. That is what awakening is. Being conscious as that, while you're aware of your body, the spur-winged plovers, the crickets, the sun, your feet, your skin. All that happens in a space, and that is you. And as you practice this, it dawns on you, and you actually start to awaken. Then one day, you kind of never lose it. You still got to be vigilant of it, so it embeds and deepens more, becomes more amazing. So, what is awakening not? I'll mention some of these things. It's not about ascended masters, archangels. Although if you're still, you may actually notice them and sense them and feel them. It's not about healing techniques. It's just what you do to process your stuff, your personality stuff, stuff that's in the way. I use inquiry, the word I use for processing consciously things. So you integrated as inquiry. It's not Kundalini. It's one of those cool things people like to talk about. Kundalini is the Shakti energy awakening spiritually inside of you. It's very, very forceful. You cannot consciously control Kundalini unless you're an adept master. Way more adept than me. Ask people that have truly had it. They will say, do not invoke Kundalini. Do not try and activate it. If you're doing Kundalini yoga, make sure the person you are doing it with is blazingly enlightened. Just because someone's had training doesn't mean they've been there and done that and had it rip through them. True Kundalini is so powerful, you know, it can annihilate you that quick. You know, just the tiny wisp of it is enough to power a major city of 6 million people for 24 hours easily. That's how powerful it is. If it's not that powerful, it's probably not Kundalini. It's just energetics, phenomena. Here are the birds. Feel your hands. I love kookaburras. Yeah. The laughing kookaburra. They were laughing at Kundalini, that's for sure. Although if you're truly having it, it's no laughing matter. So try and find someone who knows something about it. I've had it in various forms. Sometimes it's pleasant, but boy, It is the most excruciating pain I've ever had in my life. I've experienced my teeth explode with Kundalini. I couldn't move my tongue. I didn't even know if I still had a face left. And I've had stuff that's even worse than that. Very, very painful. I've had open cut surgery with a hernia. That pain was nothing compared to Kundalini. Awakening is not Shaktiput. It's when a master, a teacher or something does a transmission, comes through your system and you feel bliss, space, peace, oneness and all those things. The awakened essences that are in this site are a form of Shaktiput. They do stuff energetically at the subtle levels. That is not awakening. Those things can assist. A master, a true master, can give those blessings, give the capacity to share grace, thy will, divine will, with you. But that is not awakening. For them to give you an initiation is not awakening. It may help. And the more ready you are, and the more ready you are to hold that afterwards on an ongoing basis, is the awakening. So it still comes down to your conscious choice to be here, to be present, to be still. And a good teacher will help bring you to that place quickly. As I say here, 2 to 4 years. Because it's about the stillness in the space. And we can do the spiritual stuff as well if you have those skills, those curiosities. Awakening is not thinking you're awake. Lots of people think they're awake. It's not a thinking, it's deeper, it's in the body. Awakening is about grounding into your being, into your body. So if you're doing practices that are taking you out there and you're neglecting your body, then that is an awakening, because this is your sensing mechanism. That's how you feel. That's how you experience. Therefore it needs to be in the body. So noticing your hands, noticing your pelvic floor and your breathing inside. How much space is there? Was you aware of it? Were you able to hold it while you were listening to me? It's a practice. Come back, come back, come back. So feeling the space. Let's talk about drugs. Oh boy. Drugs will not bring you to awakening. There's a great craze at the moment, Ayahuasca. Ooh. If you're going to do that stuff, make sure it is a genuine person that's taking you through that sort of process, and make sure you have the guardians and your guardians set up and you know how to protect yourself, because it rips your energy systems open. Hardcore drugs do that, as does alcohol in some respects, but definitely, the hardcore drugs open gateways, give you experiences for sure, but they're not grounded in your being. I've already mentioned grounding in your being. So you might get to experience various forms of connection and oneness and all that good stuff, but it's induced by drugs. And it assumes a couple of things. One, you're going to handle it okay, because I've talked to people that haven't handled it okay. And if you can handle it okay, it's not something that's happened because you've developed yourself to that place. It might give you an insight of what it might be like. And if you listen to any good teacher, they will say, you can never know what it's like to be awake. until you're there. It's quite indescribable. But I am the stillness, I am the space. That's it. It's not about connection with everything, because sometimes it's infinitely small, which doesn't feel kind of connected, although the infinitely small includes everything. Or it's infinitely huge. Or you're in physical pain and you're having an argument at the same time. That's a pretty crap place, but you're still aware that you're just here and that's just happening, and it's okay. You don't add the suffering in. That's awakening. So drugs. Be very careful if you're doing drugs. They will not bring you home. They will do stuff to your energy system. You will need repair work. Either you do it or you get someone like me to help you out. Drugs are not a great path. And if you've done them, fine. But it won't be like that when you're awake. When you're truly awake, you can do drugs and stuff and you just know you are the stillness. But that deepens and keeps deepening. I know. About 3 years after I entered the abiding phase, was it 3? Yeah, about 3. Was at a staff party. I was working in the corporate world. We were at a staff party for the Christmas do. I got absolutely shit-faced, drunk. And I remember sitting down at the Yarra afterwards, looking at the CBD. Absolutely drunk. So much so I shouldn't have been biking home on my bike, but it was all off the road anyway. And I was blazed out in oneness. It's just like, wow, jeepers, my stillness has deepened this much. Even when I get really, really drunk, I can't lose it anymore. It's always there. Nothing touches it anymore. But it's deepened because of the focus. Laws of grace, re-entry, re-entry, re-entry. Back to your hands. Back to the base of your being, your backside, your feet. Noticing the breathing inside. Staying with your breath. So again, awakening is coming back to this space, this stillness, and eventually you realize you are that. That's all it is. Everything else isn't awakening. As you awaken more of your identity dies. That's how you can also measure it. How much of me is left? How much of me is trying to own it? Am I behaving like a good human being? Am I aware of the stillness right now? Pelvic floor. How easy, how quick, how deep. So you can be awake in this moment. Then there's the consistency of these moments, which means time. As your awakening deepens, you move into emotional competency, which I talk about in that page, where you can be with strong emotions and choose if you express them or not. The stillness will be there with you. Again, practice deepen, deepen, deepen. That is awakening. Deepening, being still, having that true connection when emotions are running. You'll get better at it, trust me. Just laws of grace. So noticing your hands. If you want clarity or assistance with any of this, make contact. Book a session. to your hands. So this is Jason at AwakenedEssence.com. See you in the next video.